You can be handsome, successful, or even the perfect gentleman. But once you step into the bedroom, none of that matters more than how you move inside her world. The harsh truth? Most men think they're good in bed. But in reality, they're leaving women secretly unsatisfied. What she truly craves isn't brute force, it's technique. The rhythm, the control, the connection. In this guide, you'll discover 5 powerful thrusting secrets that will make her beg for more and turn you into the unforgettable lover she never wants to let go. The first secret: start slow. When it comes to intimacy, one of the most overlooked secrets is the power of starting slow. Many men assume that intensity from the very beginning shows passion and desire. But in reality, it can have the opposite effect. A woman's body takes time to fully awaken. Physically, arousal is a process. Muscles relax, sensitivity builds, and the body gradually opens up to deeper pleasure. If you rush this stage, it often feels jarring or even uncomfortable. And instead of creating excitement, it can cause her to pull away emotionally. Beginning slowly communicates more than patience, it shows attentiveness and care. Each deliberate movement allows her to sink deeper into the moment, trusting her body and mind to follow the rhythm. Imagine it as tuning into a song. The opening notes are soft, steady, and inviting, setting the stage for a crescendo that feels natural and deeply satisfying. By pacing yourself, you not only give her time to align with you, but you also extend your own endurance. Slow beginnings heighten anticipation, and anticipation magnifies pleasure. Think of it as laying a foundation. The slower and steadier you are at first, the stronger the experience will be when you both decide to increase the pace. This isn't about hesitation, it's about mastery. It's the difference between rushing through a story versus savoring every chapter. The reward is simple yet powerful. When you ease her in slowly, she will be far more responsive, far more open, and infinitely more excited when you finally turn up the intensity. The second secret: tease her. The art of teasing is about playing with desire, stretching anticipation until it becomes irresistible. Imagine watching a thrilling movie where the climax is delayed just enough to keep you at the edge of your seat. That same principle applies in intimacy. Teasing doesn't mean withholding affection, it means sprinkling in moments of pause and contrast that make pleasure hit harder when it returns. When you are building rhythm and she's clearly enjoying it, pulling back for a moment creates a gap her body instinctively wants to fill. This sudden shift from intensity to softness activates craving on a deeper level. She begins to lean into you, both physically and emotionally, signaling her hunger for what's next. That craving is where real magic happens, by stopping just short of giving her everything. You amplify the impact when you resume. It's like giving her a taste, letting her imagine the rest, and then delivering more than she expected. The key, however, is timing. Teasing too late right before she's on the edge of climax can backfire, leaving her frustrated rather than aroused. The sweet spot is earlier on, when the connection is still building and her body is exploring the waves of sensation. Teasing works best when it's subtle, slowing down, pulling back, or changing your rhythm briefly before returning to the flow. This contrast is what turns good into unforgettable. Think of it as dancing. Pauses between steps don't kill the movement, they make the entire performance more dramatic and beautiful. By weaving in gentle teases, you make the experience not just about release, but about the journey of longing, discovery, and intensity that grows with each moment. The third secret: vary the tempo. One of the most powerful yet underrated tools in intimacy is variation. Human senses adapt quickly. Repeat the same rhythm long enough, and the body stops responding with the same intensity. That's why changing tempo is a game changer. Shifting speed and rhythm prevents monotony and keeps her fully engaged in the moment. Sometimes slow and sensual is the key, like savoring a sweet melody, drawing out every note. Other times, increasing pace adds urgency, intensity, and raw passion. The beauty lies in alternating between these extremes, creating a wave-like flow of pleasure that feels unpredictable yet intentional. Variation also communicates attentiveness. It shows that you're not locked into autopilot, but actively responding to her body, her breath, and her energy. A steady pace can be comforting, but switching it up sparks new sensations and keeps her guessing in the best possible way. Imagine a roller coaster. The climbs and dips make the ride exhilarating, not just the speed. By mixing your tempo, sometimes slowing to a teasing crawl, other times building to an eager rhythm, you mirror that same thrill. This technique also allows you to tailor the moment to the stage of your connection, slower and more deliberate in the beginning, sharper and faster as passion peaks. Variety creates layers, and layers create depth. Without it, even the most enthusiastic encounter can become predictable. With it, every moment feels fresh, alive, and unforgettable. In short, don't just stick to one beat. Make her feel the rhythm of change. And she'll remember not just the climax, but the entire symphony of sensations leading up to it. The fourth secret: grinding. Most men think intimacy is all about the classic in and out motion. But the truth is that this approach misses one of the most powerful sources of female pleasure, the clitoris. That's where grinding comes in. Instead of focusing solely on thrusting, grinding is about pressing your body firmly against hers, maintaining closeness, and creating friction that stimulates her most sensitive areas. This isn't about force or speed, it's about steady, deliberate contact that awakens nerve endings often overlooked in traditional movements. By grinding, you're not only stimulating her internally, but also externally, where sensitivity is at its peak. Think of it as painting with broader strokes instead of just one narrow line. You're covering more surface, bringing her body into full participation. What makes grinding so effective is that it provides variety and balance. While thrusting can be intense and exhilarating, it doesn't always allow for the softer, more intimate pressure that grinding delivers. The best part? Grinding also helps you when you feel yourself approaching climax too quickly. Shifting to a grinding rhythm lets you slow down without breaking the connection. It's a way to recharge while still keeping her fully engaged and excited. Certain positions make this technique especially powerful. Missionary or cowgirl, for instance, naturally lend themselves to close body contact and pressure. By adjusting angles and maintaining closeness, you'll discover how much more she responds when her clitoris is included in the experience, not ignored. Grinding is a reminder that intimacy isn't just about penetration, it's about the entire landscape of sensation. When you learn to move with awareness and press into her body with intention, you create waves of pleasure that go far beyond what she's used to. For her, it feels like you're tuned into every part of her, not just one. For you, it's a chance to deepen connection, extend the moment, and show her that you understand what her body truly craves. The fifth secret: pay attention. If there's one skill that separates an average lover from an unforgettable one, it's the ability to pay attention. Too many men get lost in their own thoughts, worrying about performance, second-guessing what they're doing, or trying to replay something they've seen elsewhere. But intimacy isn't about being in your head, it's about being present in the moment. Her body will tell you everything you need to know if you're willing to listen. Notice the way she breathes, the small shifts in her movements, the sounds she makes when something feels especially good. These are not random reactions, they're signals, guiding you toward what brings her the most pleasure. Paying attention transforms intimacy from a guessing game into a dialogue. Instead of wondering, you're responding. Instead of assuming, you're adapting. This responsiveness shows her that you're connected, that you're not just there for your own satisfaction but for the shared experience of discovery. Being present also takes pressure off you. When you're focused on her reactions, you're less likely to overthink or worry about whether you're doing it right. The truth is, there's no single script that works for every woman. What works beautifully with one partner might not with another. That's why attention is so powerful, it customizes every moment to her. And when she feels that you're truly in tune with her, she relaxes, opens up, and trusts you more deeply. Ultimately, paying attention is about mindfulness. It's about putting aside distraction and entering a flow where the only thing that matters is the connection between you and her. When you master this, you become more than just a partner. You become the kind of man who makes her feel safe, seen, and deeply desired. That feeling lingers long after the moment ends, and it's the reason she'll crave being with you again and again. Emotional connection. While physical technique plays an important role in creating memorable intimacy, there is another dimension that often matters even more: emotional connection. For many women, intimacy isn't only about what happens to the body, it is about what happens to the heart and mind at the same time. The sense of being seen, valued, and cared for amplifies every physical sensation. When a woman feels safe in your presence, when she trusts your intentions and feels emotionally bonded with you, her body naturally responds with greater openness and desire. The experience shifts from something mechanical into something deeply meaningful. Think of it this way: physical attraction may spark the moment, But emotional connection is what keeps the flame alive and makes every touch more powerful. Without that layer of trust and intimacy, even the most skilled techniques may feel empty or unfulfilling. But with it, even the simplest gesture, holding her gaze, whispering a word of reassurance, pausing to check in, becomes electrifying. Emotional connection fuels vulnerability, and vulnerability is what transforms a physical act into a shared journey. Building this connection does not require grand gestures. It's often in the small details, listening without distraction, remembering the little things she shares, or creating space where she feels free to express herself without judgment. Over time, these consistent acts of presence and care form a bond that makes her crave not only the closeness of your body but also the comfort of your soul. For her, intimacy becomes a place where passion and tenderness intertwine. And for you, it becomes more than just pleasure, it becomes a way to create trust, devotion, and lasting desire that extends far beyond the bedroom. David and the class without a textbook. David was a 30-something American living in New York. Tall, handsome, successful at work. On paper he had it all. But behind closed doors, he carried a secret. He was nervous about what happened in bed. Like many men, he thought enthusiasm and speed were enough. That illusion crumbled one night when his Italian girlfriend, Sophia, sighed after a date and teased, "Darling, you make love faster than American fast food." David froze. Fast food might be convenient, but in romance, nobody wants a drive-through experience. From that moment, he decided to take an unusual course, a class with no textbook. No teacher, just Sophia's honest feedback and a lot of trial and error. Lesson 1 arrived quickly. As they cuddled, Sophia whispered, "Slow down, cowboy." David realized intimacy wasn't a sprint, it was like drinking Italian wine. You sip slowly, savor the aroma, and let it breathe. The next time, he paced himself, and Sophia smirked. Finally, you've learned to read the menu before ordering the meal. Lesson 2. Teasing. One evening, when Sophia was clearly enjoying herself, David suddenly paused. Her eyes widened. "Don't you dare." But when he resumed, her laugh turned into a gasp. And she admitted later, "That almost drove me crazy in the best way." David realized anticipation was like seasoning, sprinkle it right, and the whole dish tastes better. Lesson 3 was tempo. He began switching speeds, sometimes slow like a lazy stroll through Central Park. Other times fast like catching the subway when the doors are about to close. Every change made Sophia gasp, laugh, and roll her eyes. "Are you turning me into a roller coaster ride?" Then came lesson 4, grinding. Or as David called it, partner yoga. Instead of the usual in and out, he pressed closer, moved with her, and discovered the magic of full-body connection. It wasn't just intimate, it gave him a chance to catch his breath while still making her smile. But the most important lesson was the last one, paying attention. Sophia's body spoke a language clearer than words, her breath, her movements, her soft laughter. Once David learned to listen, he stopped worrying and started responding. 6 months later, Sophia whispered with a grin, "David, you're no longer fast food. You're a 5-course feast." David burst out laughing. After all, he hadn't just graduated from Sophia's class without a textbook. He discovered that the secret to unforgettable love wasn't speed, but rhythm, presence, and connection. Closing. As the discussion of these secrets draws to a close, there is one final reminder. Being a great partner is not about memorizing techniques alone, it's about weaving them together with a deeper sense of connection and understanding. True mastery of intimacy is both an art and a mindset. It involves patience, awareness, creativity, and above all, genuine care for your partner's experience. The 5 secrets outlined, starting slow, teasing, varying tempo, grinding, and paying attention, are practical tools. Yet they reach their full potential only when anchored in emotional closeness. For those who want to go further, there are programs and resources designed to help men grow beyond surface-level attraction and into something more profound. These guides emphasize communication, trust, and the subtle ways of building intimacy that last. They show how to move from being simply attractive to being deeply unforgettable. Not just in bed but in every interaction. By learning how to create safety, spark vulnerability, and nurture closeness, a man can unlock levels of passion that most people never experience. This is where the real difference lies. Attraction might bring 2 people together, but connection is what makes them stay, and what makes intimacy more satisfying each time. With the right guidance, You can cultivate that balance between passion and tenderness, between playfulness and trust. The journey is not about changing who you are, but about discovering how to bring out the parts of you that make a woman feel truly cherished. And when she feels both physically thrilled and emotionally understood, the bond you create becomes unbreakable. That is the ultimate goal of these lessons, to show that being a remarkable lover is about much more than touch. It's about connection, presence, and devotion that she will always remember. Thank you for listening until the very end. If today's story has gently stirred your heart, whether through an old memory, a present feeling, or something never spoken into words, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Intimate wisdom is where we come together to touch the hidden corners of love, affection, and sexuality, things that may seem private, yet are in fact the very core of happiness. I wish you to always love deeply, live truthfully, and find yourself in every glance, every touch, and every trembling heartbeat. Affectionate greetings.